welcome to my part 2 Q&A with finasteride, minoxidil and derma rolling, where you guys have asked questions about my experience with this hair loss regimen. Before I begin, I just want to say nothing here is medical advice. I'm not a certified doctor. Everything I say is based on my personal experience, and if you're dealing with hair loss, I recommend you go and see your doctor first to get the right and proper recommendation. So without further ado, let's get to it. What minoxidil product do you use? I remember hearing that you said it in previous videos, but I can't seem to find it. Alright, so I use minoxidil from Orifarm and ABECE. That's what they're called. Minoxidil is the one you just buy over the counter. I don't think it really matters. However, at the moment I'm trying out a new minoxidil from a very small brand who are claiming that they've improved the formula. But I want to try that before I recommend it to you guys, so if it's effective, I will recommend it to you guys. But as for right now, I'm just using normal minoxidil that you can get over the counter at your pharmacy. I got quite long hair and it's hard to apply minoxidil efficiently. Do you think it's still gonna work? I only want to apply it on my temples, but I get a lot of product on my hair. Okay, so when you apply minoxidil with longer hair, it is a little bit harder. However, it doesn't have to be harder than you make it. You don't have to overthink it. Just make sure you drop it. If you have the droplets, drop it in there and just massage it in. You won't be able to avoid getting it in your hair, so that's fine. But as long as you get the majority onto your scalp, you're gonna be fine. Don't overthink it, just continue to apply it, and if you see results, then you know you've done it right. I am a diffused thinner, but completely restored my hair with finasteride and minoxidil. The question is, since I started thinning early, 21 years old, for how long can I keep my hair with the treatment? Is hair transplant necessary? Or can I just keep what I have with daily treatment? Thanks, Vic. Thanks for the question, man. People react completely different to this medication. Some people can use it for 10-20 years, some people can use it for less than that. It completely depends on how you react to the medication and how long it's effective for your body. If you have really good results right now, I don't understand the reason why you're worrying about getting a hair transplant down the road. I mean, now you've solved the problem temporarily. Why not just be content with that and live your life? Because if now that you've gotten back your hair and restored your hair loss, you already have anxiety and you're thinking about the what ifs, and you're thinking, oh, what if I lose all my hair? What do I do then? You're gonna have to work on your mindset, because now you have regrown your hair and now you can focus on what really matters in life, which is your output, what you're gonna put here on earth. And I'm not blaming you for anything, bro. I'm just trying to help you. And I think a lot of people can associate with this and recognize themselves in these thought patterns, that we're always gonna be worried about our hair. But if you've restored your hair loss, then try to focus on something else. Be content, don't stress about it. Continue to apply medication, take your update photos. A small part is always gonna care about your hair while you're on medication, but try to leave it to a minimum to make yourself more content with your situation. If within a couple of years you lose more hair and you feel like you want to get a hair transplant, then deal with that then. But don't deal with it now, because you're ruining the present worrying about the future. Hi, I'm seeing better results after using this. That's great. Hi there, I'm 20 years old, my hairs are thinning and I have no hairs on the front. Do you think I can apply only two things you mentioned, minoxidil and derma rolling, or are there any other effective natural oils or products with derma rolling? Tell me the weekly schedule for this activity and for how long I can use it. Thanks. Good question. So first of all, I don't recommend any natural remedies to replace minoxidil. I would go for minoxidil. There are people that have successfully gotten hair regrowth from only minoxidil and derma rolling. However, not as good as results as you would have if you added in finasteride. But if you don't want to use finasteride, you can still get somewhat good results with minoxidil and derma rolling. Minoxidil you take twice a day, in the morning and at night, and derma rolling you do 1 millimeter needle once a week. I have videos on this that you can watch. So give that 3 months and see if it works for you, and if it doesn't, then find other alternatives, but 3 months should be fine, and then to reevaluate. Can finasteride side effects get treated? This is a tricky one, because there is something called post-finasteride syndrome. People have very different opinions about what this is and why it's caused. It seems that a lot of the people that experience post-finasteride syndrome, and I don't want to take anything away from these people, but it seems like they are susceptible to mental health issues such as depression, bipolar, other things, or like paranoia, which can also cause these psychological factors. I can relate to this as well, not for post-finasteride syndrome, but for chronic pain and how much your mental state matters in finding the root cause of this pain. And I think the same goes for the side effects that you get from finasteride. So I agree with those research papers that claim that post-finasteride syndrome is more of a psychological issue rather than a problem caused by the medicine itself. However, if you're suffering from post-finasteride syndrome, there are cases that the medicine might have an impact on you. I'm not trying to take that away from you. Same goes with depression. I don't believe everyone who is depressed who gets treated with antidepressants are necessarily depressed, but are treated with antidepressants. What I tend to believe is a small percentage of people actually suffering from depression who should be treated with antidepressants. So if the question is if you can't treat them, my best guess would be to see a psychologist who deals with matters such as TMS. You can read about TMS. Wait, let me actually get it. I would actually recommend that you read this one or this one. 2 books that talk about these psychological impacts of physical pain or physical side effects, which is written by John E. Sarno. Check him out. Is it dangerous to do derma rolling at home? I've heard that it should be done by a dermatologist. Secondly, I have to derma roll on my face and head, so I have to use different length needles, or is 0.5mm enough for both? Of course, dermatologists are saying this. They're in the business to make money. Of course, they will want to do it on you because that way they can make money. If it truly was the end of the world if people did derma rolling themselves, that would mean that they wouldn't be sold everywhere on the internet. People and their greed for money, huh? No, you can do it yourself. Watch videos. I made a video a couple of months ago where I explain how to use your derma roller for hair growth. You will want to use a 1.0mm derma roller. So I suggest you do this. A 0.5mm will work too, but it won't be as effective as a 1.0 up to 2.0mm. So I would order a 1.0mm, use that for your hair, and then you can use your 0.5 for your head. How long does the finasteride shedding phase last? From the data available, it says that you can shed up to 6 months. In my personal experience, my shedding stopped at 2 months, but people react differently, so I would give it at least 6 months before you claim whether it's worked or not. When is the best time to get on finasteride? I personally don't think there's an optimal time that you get on finasteride as long as you have your hair follicles left. They can be small vellus hairs like the ones I got around here and there. So as long as you have your hair follicle, the hair cell, means you have the potential to reverse your hair loss. As long as you have that and you want to combat your hair loss, I don't see why you shouldn't get on finasteride. Does minoxidil give you wrinkles? This is a tricky one, but because there's alcohol in minoxidil, it may dry out your skin, in which case you want to moisturize daily. I do this in the morning and at nighttime, and I make sure I apply my lotion up here on the temples as well, so that my skin is not dried out. And it's also true that the ingredients that are in minoxidil reduces collagen production. Collagen is what's responsible for keeping your skin elastic, shiny, and soft, which can be reduced when using minoxidil. Again, this affects people differently. I would suggest you go and have a look on the Reddit forum called Trestless, where you can have a look at what other people have experienced. This is a very rare side effect, and it may not necessarily be credited to minoxidil. But then again, long-term use, I wouldn't know. For me, it's not that bad. Does the schedule suck with all the meds? Yes and no. I would say that when you develop a new habit, it tends to be hard in the beginning, but the more you do it, the easier it becomes. It's gonna become a habit, so you're just gonna do it without thinking it. For me, minoxidil is not something I think about too much. Taking finasteride, I don't think about too much. However, derma rolling I have to think about because I only do it once a week, so it takes a bit of planning to do. But I would say because it's a priority in my life and it's something that I really want to do, my motivation is very high for it, that I fulfill it and I do it without it being annoying to do. It's definitely doable. Since you don't shampoo your hair that often, do you use any conditioner after washing? I don't. This may change as my hair grows longer, but as of right now, I'm not doing anything other than washing my hair with cold and warm water. And for me, that's enough. I can't speak on your guys' behalf because you guys may have other problems or different genetics or different scalp reactions to minoxidil. But I would say that using as little shampoo and conditioner as possible is the best if you're suffering from male pattern baldness. But if you have like a fungal infection in your scalp, then it's another issue because then you need to use shampoo more regularly. But I do remember when I had long hair before, I used like a hair mask or coconut oil in my hair because my hair is naturally curly, that it made my hair look more alive and it came together much nicer. Because my hair is dry since it's curly. So even before I experienced male pattern baldness, I used to do this to give it that wet look. Alright my guys, so that's the end of part 2 Q&A with finasteride, minoxidil and derma rolling. I hope this was a good one, that you enjoyed it, you found it somewhat useful, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye.